Hey Sunrise, it's Andrew here with your small group questions for this week as we unpack Mark chapter 10, verses 17 through 31, the very well-known story of the rich young ruler. So as you open up this text, what is the rich young ruler's dilemma? Why is he coming to Jesus? So what do we see that in his statement? How is this helping us to unpack who he is as an individual? And how is that allowing us through this conversation to see the gospel more fully? And so right at the beginning, he comes to Jesus, he asks his question. What stands out in Jesus' response to the rich young ruler? What stands out in his statement, only God is good? Why does Jesus say this at the beginning? What is he setting up the rich young ruler to think about? And so as you work through the text, we then see Jesus' fuller response in the laying out of the law and asking him how he has followed it. What stands out in the young man's response to that question? And so then through that, we then see Jesus' internal thought as it says that he loved him. Why does the Gospel of Mark here add that highlight for us to understand in this situation Jesus is moved by love as he continues his conversation with him? What stands out in that moment for us? Then into that you see Jesus' response to then sell all that he has and follow me. What is the meaning of Jesus' command here? What is Jesus telling him to do? What is he ultimately pointing the man to in his problem? For we see that he is grieved by this because he has much. What is it about Jesus' command that grieves him? Okay, so as you unpack this, what is the discussion here about money? How is money at play? Because we'll see the disciples are moved in confusion. Ultimately, their point is if he can't be saved, no one can. Why do the disciples have that reaction? Would that be a normal reaction? So as you think about these things, you wrap it up and we see, of course, at the end, all things are possible with God. So what is he talking about when it comes to the gospel and what the true hope for this rich young ruler was? And how is money played out in this text? Is it about having money? What is it that Jesus is trying to drive the disciples to see? And ultimately trying to get this rich young man to see about what it truly means to follow Jesus. And how does that all tie back to how the law and the gospel play itself out in our text? Hope that you'll have a great time unpacking this text. There's so much more you can unpack in this. There's so many great resources on this text. But just seeing the heart and love of Christ and then the response that we should have to that love as one who will give far greater than wealth for our salvation. Hope that you, again, spend some time in the gospel text before us, hearing the sermon preached on Sunday, and then in our small groups as we unpack and dive deep into this text. Can't wait to worship with you guys on Sunday. See you soon.